My question comes from, I wish I saw this maybe earlier today, because I was in a client presentation literally this hour, and me and my partner, we had an idea. We were presenting scripts for TV, and then we had an idea. We thought these scripts could really do with a really awesome sting, and we think the sting's going to work great for the brand. We kind of have an idea in our heads that we can sort of communicate to each other, but we have no idea how to articulate this to the client in a creative presentation, like we would a visual thing, right? With scripts and mood board and stuff. I was just wondering if you had any tips on how to sell clients on more audio related things in a creative stage, when it's a lot harder to kind of mock that up, if you will.
Yeah, well, references, we use an awful lot of references, and sometimes a reference is better than a demo. If you you have like, for example, there's a voice that you might want to, that you imagine reading the ad that you're about to present. Play a couple of examples of people that they will know, could be famous people from famous scenes in movies, and say, this is kind of the territory that I'm imagining. Think this kind of age, this kind of actor, or this kind of woman in this kind of tone. And then that can help get the personality in their heads. Sometimes when you present a voice reel, it's awful because they're reading terrible ads and they all sound like terrible, shitty voiceovers who are pretending. So find a scene that might be a good reference. If it's music, then play 2 or 3 references. So you're basically creating a sonic mood board of references before you actually read or present the thing that you want to actually sell in. And that just helps get them, and it does exactly the same as your visual mood board, but it just helps them tune into the territory that you've got. A sting is hard because you're talking about like a 2 or 3 second little mnemonic, and at the moment that doesn't exist, and it exists in your head, but it doesn't exist anywhere else. And I think you're best off to try and just communicate the sort of feeling you want to communicate, and then do that as a specific job later. And you'll need experts to come and help you with this, because it's so easy to jump to execution when you're doing audio logos, and you start coming up with a 3-note sequence, and they all sound exactly the same as every other 3-note sequence. And they all sound a bit like Intel, and they all sound a bit like all the other things you've heard before. And if you don't spend time doing it, then it actually just becomes a bit generic. And the challenges for those in that short period of time, you've got to infuse as much meaning as possible. So I would tend not to present something in that sort of environment. It's almost like saying, like, your logo, we haven't come up with your logo yet. We've got an idea. Here's a drawing of the logo that we want to like sell your entire business forever on. And you would never do visual design like that. So I would hold back something as important as a long-term brand asset as an audio thing, unless it's a little gimmicky thing for one campaign. And if it's just, was that what it was, Omar? Was it just like for that one campaign? Did that little sting just relate to that one campaign? Was it going to be, or was it going to be like a long-term asset?
No, it was, we were hoping it would become a long-term asset, but it wasn't something they asked for. So
yeah.
I
think presenting the rationale for it was absolutely the right thing to do, because there's so many audio platforms, as I was talking about. But like their visual logo, it's not something that you can rush into, or that you can add another hour onto the end of the radio session and experiment with. It just it's too important to get right and too easy to get wrong. So I'd sell it in as a concept, and maybe do the audio mood boarding. So you play them longer sections of things, like 5 or 10 seconds or 15 seconds here. This is kind of the energy, the flavor, and we're going to create something specific for you that'll capture the soul of your brand. And we'll use experts to do it. But yeah, if you half sell it in, you might talk them out of it.
Cool.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Thanks, Omar.